Once upon a time in a small village, nestled between green hills and quiet rivers, there lived a boy named Riff who had a deep desire to learn English. He had never been outside his village, but he dreamed of speaking fluently so he could meet people from other countries, read books from around the world, and maybe even travel. One day, every day after school, Riff would sit by the river with an old English book that his uncle had given him. It was a little torn and missing some pages, but it was his treasure. The book had short stories, simple conversations, and a small dictionary in the back. Riff didn't understand much at first, but he kept reading the same sentences over and over again until he remembered them.
He would read aloud, copying the accent he heard from the radio, and sometimes he laughed at how funny he sounded, but he didn't stop. One day, while reading under the banyan tree, he met a traveler named Daniel who had come from England. Daniel smiled and asked, "Hello, do you speak English?" Arif hesitated, then said slowly, "Yes. I am learning English." Daniel was surprised and pleased. He sat down next to Arif and they started to talk. At first, Arif used only simple words. "My name Arif. I read English book. I want learn." Daniel smiled and corrected gently, "My name is Arif. I read an English book. I want to learn." Arif nodded, repeating the sentences. They spent the afternoon together, and Daniel promised to visit again. From that day, every week Daniel would visit the village and teach Arif new words, expressions, and how to form correct sentences. Arif wrote everything down in a notebook he made from old paper. They talked about animals, weather, food, family, dreams, and more. Sometimes they played games in English or acted out scenes from the book. Arif learned how to ask questions. "What is your name? Where do you live? Do you like mangoes?" He also learned how to answer politely, how to say thank you, and how to say sorry. His favorite new word was wonderful. Everything felt wonderful when he learned something new. Months passed, and Arif's confidence grew. He started speaking English to his teacher, to his friends, even to the goats in the field. "Hello, goat," he laughed, "how are you today?" His friends teased him at first, but soon they were curious. "Teach us too," they said. So Arif became the little English teacher of the village. He taught them what he knew: colors, numbers, greetings, days of the week, and songs. They sang, "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star," and laughed together. One day, there was news. A big company from the city was opening a small office near the village and needed someone who could speak both English and the local language. Arif was nervous, but Daniel encouraged him to try. "You can do it," he said. Arif walked miles to the office and gave a short interview. He said, "My name is Arif. I live in this village. I have been learning English for 1 year. I like to help others and I want to learn more." The manager smiled and asked more questions. Arif answered slowly but clearly. 2 days later, a letter came. He got the job. Everyone in the village clapped and cheered. His parents were proud. Arif's life changed. He worked in the office, translating and helping others with communication. He earned money and used it to buy books and internet data. He started an evening class for village kids. They came with notebooks and sat on mats while Arif taught them. He used pictures, flashcards, and stories. "This is a cat. This is a hat. The cat is on the hat." The children laughed and learned. Arif didn't stop learning. He joined an online course and talked to people from different countries. He learned about cultures, festivals, traditions, and food. One friend from Japan taught him origami in English. Another from Kenya told him about African animals. A girl from Brazil sent him a recipe for a sweet dessert. Arif shared stories from his village and taught them local words. They loved his stories about buffalo races, mango trees, and village fairs. His world became bigger and brighter. One evening, sitting by the same river, Arif remembered the first time he tried to read English. The broken book, the hard words, the confusion. Now, he was writing his own stories in English. Simple stories, but full of heart. He decided to write a book called The Boy Who Learned English. It was his journey, told in his words. He wrote slowly, checking spelling and grammar. Daniel helped edit. When it was ready, they shared it online. People from around the world read it and sent messages. Inspiring. Beautiful story. I am learning too. Arif smiled. He had become a bridge between two worlds. He never forgot his roots. He still spoke his mother tongue at home, helped his neighbors, and played with the village children. But now, he also lived in a world of books, ideas, and friendships beyond borders. He believed in small steps. Every word he learned was like a brick, and slowly he built a path. Learning English is like planting a tree, he said. You water it with practice, give it sunlight with patience, and watch it grow. Years later, Arif became a teacher in a nearby town. He taught English with love and stories. His students admired him because he understood their struggles. He would say, "Mistakes are okay. I made many. But I never gave up." He decorated his classroom with posters, "Keep going. One word at a time. Speak without fear." He started a YouTube channel where he read English stories aloud, explained grammar in fun ways, and encouraged learners. He used puppets, drawings, and songs. The videos were popular. Kids and adults both watched and smiled. One day, a letter came from a publishing house. They wanted to publish his book. Arif was amazed. He remembered his first notebook, his handmade flashcards, and the laughter under the banyan tree. Now, he was an author. The book was printed in English and in his native language. It was read in schools, libraries, and homes. He visited schools and gave talks. "Anyone can learn," he said. "If a village boy like me can learn English, so can you." He met students who said, "I saw your video. Now I'm not afraid to speak." Parents said, "My child reads because of you." Teachers invited him to share methods. Arif stayed humble. He said, "I'm still learning. Every day." He began writing a second book, this time about English idioms and how to understand them. He explained with funny pictures and village stories. "It's raining cats and dogs," he wrote, "means very heavy rain, not real animals falling." Children laughed and remembered. He created a mobile library with English books for rural areas. On weekends, he and some volunteers drove from village to village, sharing books, reading stories, and giving free lessons. They played games like word bingo, memory match, and spelling races. Kids learned fast when they had fun. Arif's mission grew. He started a foundation to train rural English teachers. He said, "Education should not depend on where you live." He gave free materials, online access, and organized teacher exchange programs. Even retired teachers joined in. Despite all success, Arif never forgot the man who first believed in him. He visited Daniel's country and met his family. He thanked them for the old tablet, the lessons, and the patience. Daniel, now older, was proud. He said, "You are the best student I ever had." Arif replied, "And you were my first window to the world." They laughed, remembering the goat conversations and the grammar slips. Back home, Arif encouraged his students to find pen pals, write letters, and dream big. "English is not just a subject," he said. "It's a tool. It's a key." He always carried the same old book in his bag. The torn one. It reminded him of the beginning. When students felt stuck, he showed it to them. "This is where I started," he said. "So don't be afraid. Your journey has just begun." And so, in a village by the river, under the open sky, the story of a boy who learned English became the story of many others. Because once someone dares to learn, a world of wonder opens, and every word becomes a step toward the stars.